To be or not to be? That is the question. To be or not to be is probably the most quoted phrase in English literature. It comes from Hamlet, Shakespeare's most popular tragedy. The phrase itself is the beginning of Hamlet's best-known monologue or soliloquy, which you can find in Act 3, Scene 1. But what does the phrase mean? And in what context did Hamlet use it? When Hamlet says to be or not to be, he is considering whether it is better to be alive or to be dead, to exist or not to exist. So, let's talk about context. In the play, Hamlet is the Prince of Denmark, and his father, the king, has just been killed by Hamlet's uncle, Claudius. Claudius then becomes king himself and marries Hamlet's mother, Gertrude. This fills Hamlet with jealousy, anger, depression, sadness. Hamlet is genuinely sad about his father's death, but he's also full of hatred and disgust towards his mother and his uncle. So, when Hamlet says to be or not to be, he is presenting this question as a really logical one, and it doesn't just apply to him because he's depressed and he doesn't know whether he wants to continue living or not, but it applies to everyone because everyone should work out whether their life is worth living or not. So Hamlet's personal answer to this question, to be or not to be, is a very confused one. At first he starts talking about death in a very positive way. He says it would be a sleep where we could rest from our suffering and we could hide from the slings and arrows of life. But then he starts getting worried about what if there's an afterlife, what if God punishes me, I'll go to hell. And his personal opinion is that people were too scared to commit suicide because they worry about the afterlife. So Hamlet is looking for a way to end his own misery, but he's ultimately unsuccessful. This is because Hamlet's tragic flaw is that he's always too hesitant. He sees too many sides to every question. To fully understand the phrase, I really recommend that you not only read the whole soliloquy, but you also watch a performance of it. There are plenty of videos on YouTube showing performances, and I'll put a link to my favourite in the description.